Hi, and welcome to the Bible Tribe Word of the Day. I'm Denise Pass with Seeing Deep Ministries, where we see deep in a shallow world and overcome the battles of the mind with the Word of God. A burnt offering reminds us that the offering was wholly committed and consumed in the act of atonement. So too, giving ourselves to God is a total commitment. We are to be a living sacrifice. Reading in the book of Leviticus, chapters 1 through 4, and the verse of the day is Leviticus 1:4. You are to lay your hand on the head of the burnt offering, and it will be accepted on your behalf to make atonement for you. The word of the day is burnt offering. It is the Hebrew word olah. A burnt offering means literally a holocaust, a sacrifice for which the whole body was burned. The whole burnt offering is entirely consumed and goes up in the flame of the altar to God, expressing the assent of the soul in worship. The book of Leviticus is one of the books, if we're honest, we tend to want to avoid. Animal sacrifices, blood, and a system of offerings that we don't really understand in our day make it difficult. But if we avoid this book, we miss a picture of God's grace hidden in the system of offerings. God invited Israel into a covenant relationship with him. Leviticus reveals the need for Israel's reconciliation to a holy God they are in relationship with. Their sins separated them from God, but God provided a way for his people's sins to be atoned for and covered completely. Sacrifices were on the part of animals to take the place of God's people's sins. The burnt offering from our verse of the day was unique in that it was a whole, complete offering. The Enduring Word commentary states that its name literally means that which ascends, and refers no doubt to the ascent of the transformed substance of the sacrifice in fire and smoke as to God. The central idea of this sacrifice then is that the whole being is yielded in self-surrender, borne up by the flame of intense consecration to God. I did a word study in my Hebrew class on this word olah. That is, I want to share with you here. It means a burnt offering, and it's similar to other offerings in that a part of every offering was burnt in the sacred fire, but this was wholly burnt, a whole burnt offering. It was the most frequent form of sacrifice, and a burnt offering is not burned alive, but one first sacrificed and then completely burnt before the Lord. The nature of a burnt offering is that it is a complete dedication of the offerers unto God. Today we likely think of the word offering as collection taken on Sunday morning, but the word offering is a sacrifice, one that requires us to wholly participate. According to Romans 12:1, the appropriate sacrifice made by the Christian is the offering of his or her whole self to God. Worship is the offering of a Christian's own body to God. The term olah is consistently used to describe a burnt offering that is wholly consumed, and the definition, holocaust, was a grim term to consider. The offering is totally destroyed, burned up, but then the other word definitions are interesting: to go up, to ascend, or rise. When something is burned, it rises. As the ashes float through the air, one is reminded of death. Sin leads to death. But a sacrifice offered by a perfect, holy God paid the penalty. There is hope in death. After all, Jesus rose. When we consider the sacrifice of Christ and the system of sacrifices, we recognize that we too must be consumed in our worship of God. Is our sacrifice of praise evident in our lives? Being wholly dedicated to God is the only response to his complete dedication to us. Go with God in his precious word, friends. Join us tomorrow in the book of 1 Kings.